So, back for more of Final Fantasy IV. I believe, for some odd reason, the music has changed back to the original music at that outer world area there, which is kind of odd, but oh well, not a big difference. There's a lot of dudes rolling around here. They're kind of not looking so hot. I mean, maybe they're just tired. They just look very tired. Actually, before we go down and meet Senior Cutscene, let's poke around outside real quick. Is there something interesting right over here? Don't let them take the treasure. I'm going to take the treasure. There's not a lot here. I mean, nothing too overpowered that you're gonna, kick yourself for missing, but there's some decent items. And there's definitely some good consumables down here. There's actually a lot of just about everything down here. Gold Mule, Phoenix Down. Yeah, nothing you can't live without, but definitely worth checking out. As long as you remember to. Now that we've ransacked the treasure room, now we can get to the lesser things like, checking out and seeing if there's any survivors or... Oh, hey. You'd think this would be ineffective, but, well, Edward doesn't really have that much hit points, so... He could possibly kill him with melee. With staff beatings. I'm a little curious how they would know that Golbez was in charge. I mean, did he, broadcast it out of the top of the ship? Because they just swooped in and bombed it. They didn't really do anything else. Did the explosives have, Golbez written on the side of them? Actually, this was one of those very memorable pieces of music back when I was a kid playing these games. It's definitely a very somber, sad tone to it. And it still kind of hangs in there pretty good, even nowadays. Damn it, Hella! I need your spellcasting. Hooray. Now, as much as I kind of like, I mean, I like the story, and there's some good bits here and there. I honestly think Edward's character is probably one of the, I don't know, most, I don't want to say useless, because, I mean, it's obviously, he's not supposed to be a, like, fighter type dude, but, I don't know, he just doesn't feel like he's fits in anywhere as far as the rest of the group goes. As far as, you know, his usefulness, and you'll see he really doesn't get a lot of play either, so. Then again, there's a few characters that are like that you kind of just go, oh, well, you know, that guy would have been great if we got to use him longer, but, I mean, Edward's not quite that. He's more a... I don't know if I could ever make use of it out of this guy. Sort of character. And the only real good things he's got, I mean, Spider Silk is nice. In fact, let me change some things real quick. The only real good things he's got weren't even in the original, like, US version. That heal, he's got heal, which actually kind of lets him give out a little bit of a, it's like a cure one, essentially, to everybody. Which, I mean, isn't terribly useful, but it's still better than, it's usually almost better than him attacking ever, really. I mean, at least he's tossing a small bit of health out to the rest of the group now and then for free, which is more than the, you know, small amounts of damage that he does ever really help out. He does have the occasional status effects, the singing, and whatever his harp afflicts on enemies as well. Sometimes, again, it's kind of just a hit chance percentage of happening, but I mean, it's still something, even though it's not enough to really, again, make him out to be a really useful character. On the other hand, sleep usually, no, let's say sleep usually does affect those guys. I usually have pretty good luck with it, but not this time around. And the Animantoise is actually pretty weak against ice, so that ice rod comes in definitely handy. Alright. Now the antlion nest here is actually pretty deep cavern, or pretty deep dungeon. I think there's 3-4 levels to it. And it is very maze-like. Oh well. In that there's a few different spots where you can actually end up going back, and you'll go up floors and down floors to get where you need to go, or just for a bit of a side passage anyway. But there's also a decent amount of treasures, and across a decent amount of treasure. Again, nothing that you're gonna kick yourself for missing, but beneficial stuff. It seems about like maybe 80% of the treasure chests in this game are usually just, you know, items and junk that you really don't. You're not gonna miss. That being said, that other, you know, 20% of the time, you don't wanna ignore any. You don't want to ignore any treasures. Just so, come on, really? You don't want to ignore any treasure chests just in case that, you know, that one that you miss is actually something useful. I don't know why. Probably can kill him with a regular attack, but, you know, it's habit. Yellow jelly, still weak to lightning. Still what we're gonna be using. I do need to use more heal though. Because I don't want to use it. I don't actually have to use Rydia's magic for that. Wow. Managed to not kill that guy somehow. How wonderful of me. Good job. And it's not his weakness, but it should do enough damage to kill him. Yep. Thank you. Let's just find treasure chests. If I recall, there's some treasure here. Lay me a harpe. What? I believe that means charm. Is there a secret passage in here? No, this is not the one. Alright. That's fine. We did at least get a treasure chest, so hooray for us. And defend. Again, there's not too much that's really challenging in this dungeon. A bunch of the enemies we've already seen other places, or at least, you know, similar forms anyway. Ow. Again, I'm not thinking clearly at all. One of those days where my head doesn't work. But at least we got these guys down. Hey, learned to spell. Spider silk. Oh, really? Again, my dislike of the random combat system. Let's see. I was gonna actually bust out another one of those little stories. Again, back in the heyday when we played this game a lot. I had a buddy of mine. We'll call him Rich. Now there was maybe 3 or 4 of us that lived on the same street that played this game a lot, and Rich lived maybe a street over. And Rich was real. He was wasn't one of those guys that really played a lot of video games, or at least wasn't, you know, part of our group that always hang out and play video games. But he got a hold of our copy that we were, you know, switching around with everybody, and he really got into it, and he got to the point where he was like at the end game, and he didn't have all of Rydia's summons. And so I remember going out over and hanging out with him, and we would literally like be in the basement playing this game for hours upon hours, trying to get the other summons to drop. And I believe we had bomb, but the problem was is that like what? Oh yeah, I did. Okay. The problem was like I believe one of them was cut from the US version. Was it the Cockatrice or whatever? And you know, back before the internet was, you know, actually there, and you know, we didn't have things like game facts, so it was all just rumors and happenstance about, you know, what people got and where you got it. So they literally spent like hours trying to get blasted the summons, and it literally took days of playing. Not like, you know, everyday playing, but I mean, just this constant play. And I believe he never actually like finished that playthrough. Like, I know he saved it, or he beat it once, but it was one of those things where he didn't want to fully be done with the game until he gotten all the summons, and like I said, never happened, so. Generally, I wouldn't use a tent right there. I mean, it's not something we need to do. The only reason I do that is because I kind of like to go hog wild with the lightning. I don't like to have to, you know, not murder random dudes for the XP. Especially early on, like I said, there's not really any reason not to take advantage of killing what's getting in our way to make sure our guys are at a decent level. And of course, going the wrong way is a good way to run into more combat than what is necessary. But yeah, that story, I think a lot of people who played any of those games back then has those similar stories about, you know, not really knowing what was possible in the game, but expecting there to be, you know, like some way to get X person or some way to bring Y back and put them in your party. And this game had a lot of those, especially since, well, as you'll see, we'll end up with a lot of people hopping in and out of party. But I mean, even, like, you know, Final Fantasy VI was the same way. Even Final Fantasy VII, everybody was like, oh, well, there's a way you can, you know, get Aerith back in your party. And it was like, everybody tried, you know, whatever techniques or whatever they heard from secondhand knowledge to, you know, bring back that character, and all of them were, you know, a crock of crap. Antlion is a very straightforward boss. Pretty easy in the fact that he literally only does one thing, and that's that counter horn. Essentially, all he does is anytime you attack him with a physical, like, melee attack, an attack command, or an item, or not even an item, just any, like, attack option, he straight up does counter horn, which does anywhere from, you know, like 15 to 20 something hit points, which isn't a big deal to Cecil, of course, but our two squishier characters, much less appreciative of horns to the face. So I would almost wholeheartedly suggest always having Edward do nothing but the heal spell, or the heal command. He's not really weak against any particular spells. I just use Thunder because it usually turns out that hit a little bit harder. But I mean, again, poison doesn't work on him, so not even worth casting. And you pretty much do this a lot until you beat him. Like I said, not really a very interesting fight. He doesn't really do anything else. I think the only thing that makes it even a challenge is the fact that maybe you're just not paying attention to your health, and you might get somebody. Oh, you know what? I'm a dummy. That uses potions, doesn't it? Wah, wah, wah. For some reason I thought heal was free, and that's because I forgot that it wasn't actually in the original game, and therefore didn't have any, you know, normal rules that I could kind of attribute to it in this game, or this version. That is me not doing any research and entirely forgetting previous attempts to play the game, or essentially the second game that I've got going on. That's kind of the test game to get me to do stuff here. We just got this. Let us use the escape, the emergency exit, which is essentially exactly like the exit spell and takes you to the beginning of the dungeon. And we hop in the hovercraft, which is kind of one of the oddest things I think about this game, is why of all things you would make a hovercraft. Like, your vehicle goes over shallows, great. There's these other guys that have airships, and they can just go wherever. So why wouldn't you build those? I'm a little curious. Anyway, we need to go down here, back to, come on, make the turn. Back to Kaipo. And we can turn in the ruby that we have found, procured, captured. And rescue Rosa from her mild fever. White Mage Rosa has joined the party and will contribute greatly to the next portion of the adventure that we're on when we get to Mount Hobbs. But first, a little bit of Edward. Generic bad guy sprite, no! So, this is plot combat, and essentially, I don't think you can lose. And you can't really kill this guy until the sequence is completed, so... Then again, I think you get all just these 3 actions, and then suddenly that happens. I'm not sure why they had to go to like the actual like combat screen like this to have that happen, but oh well. Edward, are you done killing that guy? Alright, all set. Let's go. Alright, let us get... You know what, let's get some potions, because I'm going to be using a lot more of said heal skill in the future. I think we're good on everything else. I don't really need greens yet. Those are actually what... well, that's what carrots were in the original translation. Essentially. Essentially. The essential essentials. Now we can go... I don't think there's a pathway over here, no. We need to go back up towards... Dymacyan. I'm not very good with the pronunciation of that particular. Damacy. But anyway, we need to go up this way and on a little bit further, and we will find Mount Hobbs Pass. And this is where we will continue on next time. You know what? Let me move order around a little bit before we do that, though. And as you can see, we kind of have 3 people that we really do not want in the front right now, so we're going to move to the 2 front, 3 back order. And that should be good. And we will call it good here. So next time, up into Mount Hobbs. Till then, have a good one, folks.